in each and every family, in the world. And my husband, he's very good with technology. He is a surgeon. He's a cardiothoracic surgeon, but he's also very good at technology. So he said, yes, why not? And, that's how the conversation started. And it actually developed into this whole idea of Dance with Madhuri, which I think Ram will be able to take you through that, because I'm just the creative, person. I can think of ideas, but how do you actually make them happen? That was something I, relied on him to tell me how he made it happen.
So I think to add to that, when I came to India, my view was that there's lack of access, and it is for various reasons that people can't get to their doctors, to the best masters for teaching or learning, and for other things. So in 2012, we created R&M Moving Pictures, which is a platform-agnostic digital content company. And the idea was simple, that all screens would converge and become one. And in the process of doing that, the user would decide how they learned, what content they took in, and what access they got. Along that journey, I was building out the health related entities. And one day we started looking at it and we said, look, why couldn't we do this for education? And really the germ of this wasn't dance. It was to teach in a disseminated fashion using technology, media, and brick and mortar come together and go to the last mile. And the challenges back then were that in 2011, when we arrived in India, there were only 150 million internet users and very scarce 2G, 3G in the rural areas. But nevertheless, we decided her passion for dance was huge. Let's use it as our proof of concept. And so we loaded it up. In 3 months, we ideated and executed this. And then this was December of 2012. And by February of 2013, we had launched. Didn't know our popularity because, and the launch included the IT platform on AWS, the front end UI UX, and then the filming done by BBC and our teams with her teaching 40 lessons. And that was our first start of Dance with Madhuri. And then we were able to barter all kinds of deals with Viacom, with other people to kind of blow this up. And within, 6 or 8 months, we then launched the apps because we knew we had traction and all that. And what we were finding is people weren't just learning, but they were using that information to get jobs. And so they were closing the loop. So this was like the beginning of Skill India. And our thought was that by building a platform like this, we could give people the opportunity to learn with no boundary. And dance was just the first one. And the remarkable thing about this was that only 50% of our users were in India, 50% were outside of India, according to our Google Analytics. And a lot of these people were parlaying their knowledge and sharing it. And the goal was to create a global village for culture. Now, what happened was we couldn't handle the volume. And as it scaled, our servers on AWS would always crash. So then we had to up our game and we had to build in redundancy and build in EC2 and elastic redundancy. We put in separate CDNs and we got it up to where you could serve 1 million people per second and relaunched it in 2015 with a second iteration. And that went viral. And then at the same time, to take it to the masses back then, we didn't have 3G, 4G. And so we tied up with Tata and launched a dance studio powered by Dance with Madhuri.